The three things that I learned as I took this break throughout May. The first thing that I learned is that it is impossible to keep up, and I'm not supposed to. It is impossible to keep up, and I am not supposed to keep up. Okay, y'all know that I've been trying to fight this algorithm forever. And let me tell y'all something. The algorithm is not conducive to the average person's normal life. It is not conducive to our day-to-day. It is not something that we can just engage with and enjoy. The algorithm is set up for shareholders. Okay? It is set up for shareholders to make money. If you ever hear somebody say yo, if something is free, you're the product. Think about it. Our content is the selling point that executives use to tell shareholders that this is valuable. So they'll go in a meeting, and y'all know this. Y'all work in corporate America, whatever. They'll say, yo, we have this many users posting this much content, and then the shareholders see that and they say, oh, you've got X amount of millions of billions of people using your platform, and they're creating content every 0.3 seconds and this, that, and the third. Okay, so we got all these people here. So now the advertisers come in and they know that they can always, where the people at, who. It's like going to a party and saying, yo, who all gonna be there? Right? So if the shareholders know that the party is going to go crazy, everybody's going to be there, then they going to go too, right? So the shareholders that they trying to party, not only they trying to party, they trying to make some money. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the algorithm is set up for you to just chase it. It's not set up for you to conquer it. You're never going to conquer the algorithm. You're always going to chase it. And the minute you get close to catching it, it's going to change. It's going to change up its pace. And the people who do conquer it, that you see are successful on these platforms, they pay to play. They got whole teams behind them that number one, either understand the system, or number two, they got connections at Meta that know how to push their stuff through. Come on, it's a game. It's the game. The game is the game. I've been watching Wire clips. I need my wife is online, and I'm just telling you, we need to watch The Wire, because The Wire is amazing. The game is the game, right? These platforms don't care about your families. They don't care about your mental health. They don't care about your well-being. They literally make money off of you using it. You know why Twitter changed the app? You know why Twitter removed third-party app access to it and made the users only use its interface? Because now they have the For You tab where you get content from people who you don't follow. But the algorithm has determined that you find these things interesting to keep you on the app. Because the longer you're on the app, the more they can feed you advertisers. And also, it doesn't help that, it doesn't help that our success is so rooted, our definition of success is so rooted in capitalism that our dreams and passions often result in us making money. Everybody in here, your dream, your goal, your passion, at the end of that rainbow is some money. I would say all of us, but I'll be nice and conservative and say most of us. That's not, and then if you don't use the app, they tell you that you're not successful. You have to use it. And it's not true. It's not true. It's impossible to keep up, yo. I'm literally, you don't know what it's like to freaking spend all day working. No, all y'all know what it's like. Working on a piece of content all day that's fire, and then you post it and it don't get no engagement. And now you're defeated. But it's like that adrenaline, because then you post something that does that is successful, and you're like, all right, I need this. I got it. I know how to figure this out. And then you try to create another piece, and then it's like, it don't work. It don't go. It don't go. It don't. And it's just, you're on a hamster wheel. So the question is, how do you defeat the algorithm? And this is why my wife is my wife, because she just know what it is. You gotta become the algorithm. And what I mean by that is you cannot defeat the algorithm as it stands. You cannot conquer it as it stands. Very simple. Like, you find your rhythm and you dance. When your song comes on, if Uzi, I Just Want to Rock is too fast for you, don't dance to that song. If you with your girl and y'all just want to slow dance, just slow dance. You know what I'm saying? If you in a crew and you break dance and y'all the Jabberwockies and doing all that stuff, break dance. Dance at whatever pace that you want. To every song. I don't care if I'm off beat. I know what's playing, but I'm going to dance the way that I want to dance. Your own speed, your own pace. And you build your community, you build your tribe, and you're successful. You're successful. Yo, listen. It's 100% like chasing the high. It's 100% like chasing the high. So the first thing that I learned, that it is impossible to keep up, and I'm not supposed to keep up with it. The second thing that I learned was I had to learn how to stop seeing life through the lens of content. I had to stop seeing life through the lens of content. Listen, y'all, I was always thinking of ways to make videos. Oh man, this would be a fire video. This would be a good topic for a video. This would be good. And it was exhausting. Oh, this would be a good video. Yeah, we got to create some time to like make this video. We got that. Yo, so like, additionally, here's why I was always thinking in content. Because the easiest way to grow on social media is to follow trends. It's what they tell you, right? So like when a song is trending, do a video based off the trend. When a sound is trending, use something based off of that and you grow. But like, what about the people like myself who hate trends? I hate trends. I don't do I don't do trendy. Like, I don't do trendy clothes. I don't do trendy sneakers. I don't do trendy music. I don't do none of that. I hate it so much. I will intentionally buck the system, and I will walk to the beat of my own drum, literally out of spite. You're not about to tell me what I think is cool. Are you crazy? You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing a dance. I'm not pointing to words. You know how they do this stuff, right? I'm not doing that. That's corny. Listen, my wife will tell you, I was stressing her out. I already know I was. I'm sorry. I was. You got to admit, I've calmed down like a lot. I ain't there yet, but I've calmed down a lot. So, you know, it's funny because like when you listen to like these social media experts and they tell you like how to create content or what to do, they always tell you like, yeah, do something that creates value. You have to provide value to your community. And I'm like, are we scrolling through the same social media? Do you see the things that go viral on a regular basis? It'd be the dumbest, most mindless stuff that goes viral all the time. This is not valuable to me, right? But I learned in that value is subjective. If I really want to go down the rabbit hole, I think that social media has created so much anxiety in us that like it makes room for mindlessness to rule, because we're just trying to get out of our own heads. We're trying to get out of our bodies because it's so riddled with stress and high dopamine that like we're literally just give me something stupid so that my brain can stop sprinting. I could be wrong, but I'm not. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong in that. So Value is subjective. So as a result, there's no blueprint to my path personally. So as a result, that's just my life. Like, I'm just one of those people. I just like building from scratch. I like finding out something new and like doing the new thing. I don't like following trends. It's just how God is like just shaped me, right? So now because of that, my brain is running a million miles an hour trying to find content, finding different ways to like engage and still achieve the success of the trending content, but at the same time, not following the trends. So my mind is running a million miles a minute. I don't know if that's, and some people could say that that's not that's a lack of humility. Just humble myself and like acquiesce and acclimate to like the culture. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So, it's weird because like also at the same time, like I value my privacy. So like I don't really be want to like, put my family on camera a whole lot and share our day to day. That's the ease. That's easy. Black family. That's super easy to like to be successful in. Or, I didn't want to do anything trending. So as a result, like I'm exhausted because I'm always trying to figure stuff out. And I never, as soon as I'm like, yo, I figured it out, it changes. What I realize is as a rapper, I rap the best when I'm living life or when I'm able to pull from experiences or conversations or relationships that trigger thoughts and emotions. And like, that's when my pen be working. You know what I'm saying? When I'm not doing that, like my raps are cool. They're good enough, but I can tell when I'm like, oh yeah, I was living during this time, right? That goes beyond my rapping and that just goes into my creativity, period. So in turn, I have to live intentionally. I have to get out of like this content brain thing stuff and just like exist in the world that I am constantly creating. I have to exist in the world and be present with my wife. I have to be present with my children. I have to be present with my creativity. I have to be present with my community, present with my friends, right? Instead of always trying to figure out and create something to do so that we can make some money. You know what I'm saying? Like that's stressful. So I have to be mindful of where my brain goes because it's very easy to like go back into that space and be like, oh yeah, that'd be a good. And it's not to say like, don't do it. Cause yeah, sometimes you have a great conversation or something happens and you're like, yo, this would be a great piece of content, but it ain't gotta be my whole life. Cause it ain't gotta be my whole life. That's too much. That's too much. That's exhausting. I gotta like get into my brain, tap into myself and like steer the shit back and like, no, we're not going that way. We're going this way. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing is it's impossible to keep up and I'm not supposed to. The second thing is to stop seeing life through the lens of content. My bad. Yes, this is the new vibe. This is the new vibe. Shakir, what's going on, man? So yeah, this is Wake Up Tonight. We are wrapping up. I got one more point to make and then we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna tell y'all like future things and how to connect and tap in moving forward. So I'm talking about 3 things that I learned while taking a social media break or a content break. Let me also say that I did not fast. I was still like on the internet, just kind of like scrolling, but I wasn't like really engaging. I would tweet a little bit, but that was pretty much it. Or I couldn't skip like the Kairos anniversary. Like I had to say something about that during that time. So make sure you follow the instructions on the ticker at the bottom. If you were not tapped into any of those spaces, please get connected. Email list, Patreon, social media, something. Email and Patreon is preferred. And if you feel in your heart to give, $7 or $77 or $777 or $7,777 or $77,000. There's my cash. All right, let's wrap up. So the third thing that I learned during this creative break was that I don't need to be everywhere. I don't need to be everywhere. And that's twofold. That's digital and that's real life. So in real life, like I shared earlier, I was single, and when I didn't have, any dad responsibilities, or at the time I was, serving at the church I was at, no church responsibilities, I had great boundaries. I'd be real quick to tell you what I'm not going to do. I was outside. I was at every event. That's one of the ways that I made my name in Columbus, was that I was literally at every open mic. Every time somebody was throwing something, I had a lot of DJ friends because I was a rapper. So like when my DJ friends were throwing events, I would be there. I'd be on stage. I'm 6'5". I carry myself in a certain way. So even if you don't know me, I know the people that everybody knows. So I drew a lot of attention to myself. And because of that, I built, my little name or whatever that means. But I was always outside. And then I got married. I went in the pandemic. I went in the pandemic. Jesus, I need to eat. I got married. The pandemic happened. I had a baby. I got older, and now it's like I don't want to be outside all the time like that anymore. Like I like being at home. I made my house very, very cozy, and anybody who's been in my house will tell you that. Like my wife and I have made our house very cozy. So people just post up, and I take full advantage of that. And I think that's okay. Like even this weekend, like, I've missed mad events already. Like Columbus is jumping already. I said this, it's going to be a hot summer in the city. And I haven't been involved in any of this stuff. But I don't need to be, because when you're outside and when you're around and when you're at all these events, I'm able to network. All these things that I talked about earlier, right? That I wanted to do and participate in, and, X, Y, and Z, and I'm trying to build this, and I need to network and connect with this person and this group and do this and show up and blah, 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 and, do this show and, make this money, and this allow me to do this and that and yada, yada, blah, 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 right? I'm just like, I can't do that. I can't do that all the time. And I've learned to be like okay with that. I'm not outside all the time. Like when I'm out, I'm out. Like you'll still find me somewhere for sure. Like I got an event coming up in a couple weeks. But when I'm not outside, I'm at home. I'm chilling. I'm at the house. And that transitioned into online. So I don't need to be on every single social media platform engaging, giving it the same energy, right? I don't need to be on Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and like my website and Patreon and my email list, like all the things at the same time, giving it the same energy. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta create systems and schedule content and, format it in a certain way. Like I can't. It's just not. And then on Instagram, I got like multiple accounts on Instagram: Model Ministry, Kairos Culture, COVID Community, Clock Radio Speakers. I'm handling all of that stuff. Bro, that's a lot. I can't do that. It's yes. Shakir, it is exhausting, my brother. It is exhausting. I can't do it. I had to change my relationships with these platforms. And what I did was I had to like decide like, all right, where do I enjoy being at? Where do I enjoy being? What platform best serves how I create and want to communicate? What platform has all those tools, right? Is it Twitter? Do I like short form content? Do I like just little blurb? No, I don't. We've been here for an hour, 15 minutes. Like, I like talking. So I don't really be on Twitter like that no more. You know what I'm saying? Facebook, no. I don't like being on Facebook like that. You know, I love video and visuals. I love photos. I love music. You know what I'm saying? Like, Instagram best serves all of those things. So I'm like, yo, I'm going to be on Instagram because I like being on Instagram. I'm going to be on YouTube because I use YouTube all the time for long form content. I'm going to be on Instagram. I'm growing to enjoy TikTok. I might be on TikTok more than I'm on Facebook and Twitter, right? And just like, again, doing those self check-ins and figuring out like, yo, what do I have capacity for today? And being okay with what I have capacity for. And if I don't have capacity for something, it doesn't mean that I failed or that I've fallen short or that I'm missing out on something. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between like pushing through and making something happen, which I will do because I'll be up after this show doing content, doing some of this other stuff. But like, I'm not about to sit up here and rack my brain and go crazy. I'm not doing it. And I just got to stick to that. And be okay with sticking to that. Like finding contentment wherever I'm at, right? That's biblical. That's Paul, right? Just finding the contentment, being cool. Like, yo, I'm cool here. I'm cool there. I'm straight, right? So those are the three things that I learned while I took a month off. And I know a month doesn't really seem like a long time, but when you're always creating and always on it, like the way that my brain works, like I can create very quick. I can put stuff together very quickly. So to be doing that, to not do that at all for a month, that was like a success. You know what I'm saying? I low-key was like, dang, I wonder if I should do June. But I was just like, I was chomping at the bit to get out. So I jumped off the porch.